Welcome, everyone.
What kind of latency? Can you tell? The pencil is bending. Yeah, anyway. Oh, it looks pretty good. Cool.
I think
Hi
so.
there. Welcome to the digs.
Yep, welcome. We're back.
Yeah, we're
Hopefully, clearer.
this
I'm trying some new camera stuff today, so.
okay, which means I can't see you here, but I can see you there.
Mm,
But you should say something.
you
Yeah, it looks
can.
like there's like a 5 second delay or so.
Yeah, you should be able to still, hear me, though, so. Maybe we
I
can.
can hear you, and that's the important part.
In the long
So
term,
yeah,
maybe I'll just get a new webcam. But I think everyone knows right now that it's almost impossible to find a webcam these days.
yeah, we got plenty of time. On show 500 will look great. But
Yeah.
so Tim from Houston here, and joined by.
Eric DeMarco from up in Wisconsin near Milwaukee. So
You get
lots of stuff
ready.
happening up here. I don't know about there, but yeah, lots of change. So,
I've been avoiding the news. It just depresses me. So I am
mhm,
woefully unaware of what's going on, though life
mhm.
is still stressful,
I think
no matter
everyone's.
what.
I agree.
No matter
Everyone's
what.
just still stressed right now. It's like just trying to manage, you know, not being able to go anywhere. I mean, or to keep your
Uh,
routine is a little rough for people, and just to be able to, you know, just to be able to function and not being able to go to a park with kids. I got three kids, and not being able to go there is just like, come on. What else are they
yeah, right,
supposed to be doing? I mean,
exactly.
they got homework and stuff, yes, but they're boys. They need to run around. I'm like, I've literally just got them running around the house and playing in the front and backyards and stuff like that. It's
Hmm.
nuts.
Yeah, well, my son has done this for a long time, but he's 8 now. But he's done this since he was little. He will just run from one end of the house to the other and back and forth and just bounce off the wall and giggle the whole time. And he'll do this for like an hour, just
Mm.
entertaining himself, bouncing back and forth. It's
Yeah,
kind of
in our house in the downstairs, our kids would do the big circle and stuff in the downstairs. It was like we called it the racetrack. They would just sit there and do circles. It was crazy. We're like, good.
Oh, goodness. Well, yeah, so that's the thing. Now we have gotten out of the house. We found a cool walking trail down here. It's by the creek,
Mhm.
and we were able to walk down a long ways past the playground that we were not allowed to play on. Um, and we've done that. If we force the boy to do it, well,
Mhm.
he complains the whole time. But if we force him to do it, he usually has a better attitude throughout the day. So it
Mhm.
makes a difference. And funny thing, this last time we were walking just a couple days ago, um, we were going and we saw a duck perched on a power line. And I've never
Wow.
seen a duck perched on a power line before. With
That
a little web feet wrapped around it. It's the funniest thing.
that's crazy. I mean, yeah, that's web feet, man. I do remember that there used to be flamingos out that direction. I was like, where did the
Flamingo.
flamingos come from? I'm like, come
Florida,
on.
probably. I mean, I guess we are on the Gulf Coast, but you know, you don't think
Yeah.
flamingos in Houston. That doesn't make a lot of sense. What
Yeah.
are the egrets? We get the egrets and we get the herons. Anyway,
Mhm.
lots of good bird stuff. Even I'm no bird expert, but it's fun. I like looking at birds.
Oh yeah, same here. I would always imitate the bird sounds. My kids find that hilarious, and they just think I'm talking to the birds.
Oh, my favorite is mockingbirds. I can see why it's the Texas state bird, but those birds are cute and
Mhm.
they have personality. It's a good bird.
Yeah.
It's a good bird.
Interesting bit of trivia since we're on the topic of birds for all the avian people out there. What
Avian people.
what bird did what's his name? Ben Franklin want to make the
Oh,
national
I know
bird.
this one. I
Mhm.
know this one.
Go for it.
Okay, give the audience a
I was
chance to
just
guess.
teach I was just teaching my kids this the other day.
Ben Franklin wanted the national bird to be the turkey.
Yep. The turkey. I still don't
Hey,
understand the thinking of that man, but maybe because he was going for originality or it was an American bird. I don't know.
I think he's a capitalist. I think he's a capitalist, and turkeys are big business. Yeah, that's got to be it.
Yeah.
No, so oh, there. Now I have more headspace. Okay, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just this is a show where we just talk about whatever we feel like because Eric and I used to hang out,
Mm-hmm.
and then he moved to Wisconsin, and we're like, well, if we're going to have a live stream, we
Sad.
should just hang out and do it together. So we are, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And
We try to
now,
have fun.
since normally we plan to do like when we run out of stuff to talk about for an hour, we'll go to your mailbag that you have. You collect links and stuff and articles throughout the week.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but we haven't yet run out of stuff to talk about. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we want to be sure and hit at least a couple of these. So what do you have in your mailbag this
Okay, well, let me see if I can do my fancy stuff with OBS nowadays. Let's see if we can try this out. I've got one right here. It has to do with the rumored Star Wars Rebels sequel. I'm going to start with
Star
that
Wars?
one. I'm
Well,
going to do pop culture here. There's a rumored Star Wars Rebels sequel. We'll have the Clone Wars animation style. I thought this was noteworthy because I really enjoyed the Star Wars Rebels series. I thought it was an interesting storyline. It didn't rely heavily on any one particular character from like the original like set of series, but they had some good cameos. They had was it Darth Vader. Ow! Oh, oh man, that hurt. Man, you gotta be careful. Oh
sorry
man,
about
I
that.
love that phone. But basically, they had Darth Vader that made an appearance. They'd had Ahsoka Tano, which is really coming into her own as far as a character in the Star Wars universe. People love that character. I really enjoy the character. I wasn't sure what to make of it in the beginning, but nowadays, she's a very well developed character and she has a lot of personality for the Star Wars series. So,
Mm.
but
Yeah,
I
I've
thought
heard
it's neat
so
that
much
a new
good.
one
Like
had come on.
I didn't really understand that character in the little parts of Clone Wars that I watched. I watched like parts of the middle seasons, but I
Hmm.
didn't watch like the whole storyline. But all my Star Wars, friends, they just rave about Ahsoka. They say she's great, and so I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, I guess it's worth going back and watching it.
Yeah.
I tested out the first episode of season one. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not my target demographic. This is for kids.
Yeah, in the
But
the first season, it's kind
I'll
of
get
that way, but they develop it over time. It's kind of cool.
I'll, I'll get through it. I have a high tolerance for this kind of stuff. I just need to do it.
And this is Rebels you're talking about, or
No,
Clone
this
Wars?
was this was Clone Wars. Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
I
Yeah, Clone
haven't
Wars
seen
was a
any
little
Rebels.
much. Yeah, Clone Wars was a bit much. So, especially in the beginning, it took a while for it to
Yeah.
get there.
But that reminds me, I saw some amazing Star Wars Episode 9 concept art for something called Duel of the Fates.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars people probably know more about this than me, but this concept art was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Fascinating imagery. I'll post it in the Facebook group so people can go see it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so Ahsoka Tano, she's going to be in the Rebels remake. Is that what you're saying?
Say that again.
Not remake, sequel. Sequel. You said there's a Rebels sequel.
Yeah, there's rumors that it's gonna have a sequel, like the Rebels characters or that area. They're gonna have a sequel, but it's gonna have the animation style of the Clone Wars. So they have a different look. And at first, I really
Mm-hmm.
wasn't crazy about either
Yeah.
one of them, but you kind of get used to it and stuff. And I kind of got used to what was it um, the Rebels, one, but they're gonna apparently use those, I don't know if those particular set of characters, but that
Doesn't,
storyline,
does
that kind of that group or something. I don't know what, you never really know what they're gonna do, but they're gonna use that source material to create a new style, but they're gonna do it in the style of the Clone Wars, which near the
yeah.
end it looked a lot better. So
Okay. Yeah, because doesn't Yoda, isn't he like all blocky and stuff in
yeah,
Clone Wars?
yeah,
There were a
and
lot of angles.
yeah, and it got better later on. It really
Okay.
did. So it's just like it, but I liked how the rebels looked. It was color, a little bit of color, a little bit of
It's smoother lines, right?
yeah. I mean, the cast had a lot more aliens in it, and they were main characters, and I thought that was always kind of you know kind of nice because in the Clone Wars, it's basically you know the core people. It's you've got Anakin, you've got Obi-Wan, you've got the one that they injected that was really kind of an alien was like Ahsoka Tano,
Uh-huh.
and
Right, right. New
so
character, yeah.
yeah, so and they had plenty of aliens, but in Rebels it was nice because they had a much more alien centric cast, which was kind of neat. So
Hmm.
and they were
Right,
compelling
right.
characters in my opinion.
That makes sense. Makes sense. Okay,
So,
well,
but good
more
inf.
Star Wars for me to watch. I'll just add it
Yeah.
to my list.
So good information right there. I just thought it was neat that they were gonna making sure my mic's on. I was like, yeah, just making sure that I like that they're creating some good material. Ahsoka Tano is a neat character for them to develop and stuff. So I think people really relate to that character. So,
I'm just
but
gonna have to really get into that, watch the whole thing. It sounds like a big time commitment, though. Um,
Rebels or
well,
Clone
watching
Wars?
Clone Wars and Rebels, and then the Rebels sequel,
Yeah,
and all that.
I watched the Clone Wars a little bit over time, and that one's a little hard to get through. There's a movie. See, that started out as a movie. I don't know if you
Oh,
realize
okay.
that. I actually bought it. Here's an interesting story. I actually bought it on Amazon Prime like years ago. And I
Uh-huh.
remember it was the first time I'd ever had someone say, you can no longer have the movie that you purchased. I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't have my movie that I purchased. I bought that movie
What?
a long time ago. But it was a movie, and apparently they had removed the rights from Amazon, and basically Amazon said, no, you can't. Even though I purchased it, they were like, no, you can't use it. I was like, that is really weird. How was that even a thing?
So
So,
yeah, but I guess if you purchased it and downloaded it, they couldn't take that from you. But if you're trying
yeah.
to access it on their platform, then that's why you couldn't access it. Is that right?
Yeah. So I couldn't, I wasn't able to, use it. But anyway, that's more of a minor story. But what was interesting was the fact that that they were that for some reason that was the start of the Clone Wars. I don't know if it was meant to be a series, but they turned that movie and then it just rolled into a movie series or something like that. It was like there's a movie
Hmm.
and then it rolled into like a series from there. So
Hmm.
interesting is what I thought. So I was like, okay, I kind of get what you're going for here, and I kind of threw up my arms at the. I was a little irritated at the beginning because I lost my movie, but we got this
Yeah.
whole. I think what is 7 seasons now of that series,
Right.
and
Right.
I've watched most of them over time, Clone Wars that is, but in the in I think they had just said they were removing the seventh season, or they just did a seventh season, and the reason they avoided it is because apparently it got too close to um I don't know if it was Skywalker or what, but it got too close to one of the other series that they were doing, so they had to
Hmm.
stop the television series to finish the movies, and then now later on down the road they're able to do season 7 because we already
Uh,
kind of know what's kind of happened. It's like it's
yeah.
too much would have been given away if they did this extra season. So
Because Clone Wars happens between episode 2 and episode 3, right?
I don't know the exact one, but yeah, I know it happens between yeah, in between 2 or 3, and yeah, it's definitely between 2 and 3 because yeah, 3 he
Because
goes
yeah,
bad,
yeah,
and 2 is kind of the introduction of the new
yeah. That's
Anakin. So
when they
yeah,
find the army, clone
hmm
army in it.
yep.
Okay,
So yeah, it definitely
got
happens between 2 and 3. So,
it.
but really interesting, uh, you know, some storylines. But I've been holding off on buying my Disney Plus, membership or getting my free trial so I can try to cram
Right.
in that last season of season 7 of Clone Wars because I want to.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to binge, my Mandalorian. I want to, binge watch, Clone Wars, and I know there's probably one or two other series that I want to watch too. So.
The thing is, you could live on Disney Plus exclusively. The catalog is so big.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch all of the Marvel stuff. You can watch all of the Star Wars stuff. You can watch all of the current Disney stuff. You can watch all of the classic Disney stuff.
Yeah.
There are TV series. There are movies, and it would take you a long time to get through everything.
Have,
Now, the downside is you won't be able to see all the stuff that's not Disney,
yeah.
but there's a lot that is Disney.
Yeah. Have you seen the disclaimer that they're putting in front of some of these older movies too? Do they have it on
Oh,
Disney Plus?
there was. I think we maybe watched one.
Mm-hmm.
where that was there, where it said, cultural sensitivity or
Yeah.
different times, just
Yeah.
racial stereotypes and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter
Oh yeah,
Pan.
yeah. It was
Peter
Peter
Pan
Peter
was.
Pan.
Yep.
Hmm.
That was the one that we watched and it did it. And it was the Amazon. It must be Disney doing it
Well,
because they must want to put it into perspective.
to be fair, those Indians are caricatures, and
Oh
wow,
yeah.
they're over the
But
top.
there's a lot of caricatures in there though. That was like
Hmm.
that's a lot of that movie. But yeah, I mean, and it is right. I mean, looking back, you're like, yeah. At the time, you're like, you didn't think much of it, but now it's like, yeah, that's kind of that's not cool. That's not cool. Is all I can say. So
Yeah, yeah,
I,
exactly.
that's one of the reasons. What was it? I forget the name of it, but there was one. I remember going to Disney World. Like, I went to Disney World when I was a kid. I haven't been so long, but I remember they used to play a movie in the camping section because that's where we would stay. Is we'd stay in the camping
Hmm.
area, and they would
Hmm.
they had like an outside theater, and they would show a movie. And I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but it's got the Briar Rabbit. It's what the Briar Rabbit ride is based off of. There's a movie. I forget.
Song of the South, right?
I think it's yeah. Song of the South sounds about right. And
Mm.
and it's just like they don't even sell that one anymore. I guess that they just didn't like it. They were like, no, that's just too. That's a line too far. And I kind of get that. I haven't seen it in years, so I can't even speak about it anymore. The only thing I remember is what I remember from my kid as a kid, and I'm like, that's I can't go
Yeah,
off of
I've
that.
never seen the whole thing. I only know the Bippity Doodah sequence,
I
but
think that was.
if what I've heard is true, then it's suppressed because it depicts like a happy slave character.
Mm,
Um,
yeah,
so like the guy singing the song is like he's a slave, but he's
yeah.
happy about it. That's why that one's
And if
suppressed.
and I have my, if I have my history right, basically Disney tried to get people to be okay with it, and he ended up releasing it anyway, and it just didn't fly very well. They were like, mm-mm. They a lot of the African American community, they were like, no, we're not, no, no. What do you think? What are you
Yeah,
thinking, dude?
exactly,
No, we're not gonna
exactly.
get behind that. No. So I mean, it is what it is, and it's probably left in the best left in the past. But it's just interesting. I have this memory of a kid, and like you'd go to Disney World, and they were like showing it. Now you can't even find those movies. It's similar to some of the old Disney cartoons about World War II. Have you? Sometimes some of those I think are available on YouTube. I think through the National Archives, and those are interesting. I was like, I remember some of those as a kid because I remember Donald Duck being invisible, and some of them are great. They're really
Yes,
great
yes,
stories,
that one. That's
and
really funny. The Donald Duck Invisible one. Yeah.
but the ones about Japanese and stuff like that were definitely a lot more. There were some that were really trying to say these are our enemies and stuff, and it was pretty bad. But I mean, at the time, Disney's only customer I think was the U.S. military or something. So I mean, what were they gonna do? So.
Yeah. True.
But
True. Yeah.
but there were some
So,
great ones. I remember where Donald Duck goes invisible or something. It's like camouflage, and he made a gun invisible, made himself invisible. I'm like, that was just hilarious. And I'm like, those I think you can actually buy on DVD sets, but some of that stuff is just so hard to find. They lock it away in the vault and will never release it.
the Donald Duck one is a line that I keep quoting just randomly throughout the day sometimes because
Mm-hmm.
Stinky Pete's the sergeant there, and he's hunting around for Donald, who's making trouble while he's invisible,
Mm-hmm.
and he runs into the general, and he gets all like tries to be respectful, but he's clearly really flustered and practically having a nervous breakdown, and he says to the general, "Did you see a little guy that you can't see?" And the line just keeps coming back to me all the time.
Yeah.
The
There
things that
was.
get burned into our memories, they're sometimes kind of random.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, there was a whole series of those Donald Duck ones that were really good, and I remember, those were the ones I remember. But a lot of them don't
Hmm.
get see the light of day, and some of that's good. And I think there was. I think there's another one. I think it's in the National Archives. It's about a caricature that I think was done by Disney, but wasn't really Disney. It was their studios were doing. I think it was called Snafu or something, and it was basically
Oh, I don't know that.
teaching people what to during World War II, what to do and what not to do, and trying to use humor to say, be careful about this, don't give away secrets, and basically Snafu was this caricature of someone giving away a secret because he of various reasons, and apparently these were things that they were showing, servicemen at the time because you want them to pay attention, so they made it entertaining.
That makes sense. That makes sense. The propaganda training films. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's I
That's
guess our
interesting. It's interesting. So
yeah.
yeah, we've been going back and digging through some. I told you we watched some of the Herbie stuff, but we also watched
Hmm.
Blackbeard's Ghost
Oh, that's a
and
good one. I remember that. I haven't watched that one in a while. Is it as good as you remember?
it's actually better because there was so much that went over my head as a kid. Some of these hang together a lot better when you really understand them.
Yeah.
And so Blackbeard's Ghost and then Absent Minded Professor with Flubber. That was
Yep.
fun.
I haven't
And
put that one on my watch list. I may buy that one.
yeah,
We'll
yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. It's a good one. It's a good one. So yeah, but like I said, the kids are watching I
Yeah.
Love Lucy and Monk. That's their big thing right now.
Yeah.
And again, I Love Lucy on CBS,
Yeah. Huh.
which also has Happy Days.
Oh, okay. I remember. I
Mm-hmm.
can't watch Happy Days because I didn't really watch it as a kid. Have Gun Will Travel is one I do remember watching. That one I enjoyed. Have you heard of that one?
No, I don't know that
It's
one
an
at all.
it was an old black and white film. They were showing it when I was in Houston. Like they had like a million channels on broadcast, and there was a channel called the Tube or the Tube or something like that, and they were showing reruns of this, and it was just really good. Even to today, it was this guy that you could hire a gun. Basically, he's a I'm trying to figure today a bounty hunter maybe it might be a term, but he comes
Mm-hmm.
and he helps you solve a problem, and he's there to help you. You pay him and he solves your problem or something like that. And usually there's a
Okay.
bad guy causing a problem, and he will help. You know, you know, the man or woman see the ill of their ways or something like that. So,
Is it a Western or is it
yep, very much a
modern?
western, very much a
Okay,
western,
yeah, Western. Gotcha,
and it was
gotcha.
like,
Oh, it's a,
but it was a well done western. It was like it was. I mean, the character was real. The main character was done really well. I definitely suggest if you see it on some channel and it's like Have Gun Will Travel. It's usually showcased by a little rook or no bishop, rook, and knight. No, it's usually showcased by a little knight. It has a little chess knight figure on it, and because he will travel, it's like the horse and it travels, so it's like a chess
right.
piece. So if you see, that's usually one part of you know, the symbolism of that show. So if you ever see it, it is an old show, but if you ever see it like on some archive somewhere, it's definitely worth a watch. I enjoyed it. So
Nice, nice. Man, that's really good.
so good
Cool,
stuff.
cool. So I guess, well, that one of your, I guess we just like talking because one of your
That was a
mailbags
that was a
took us
tangent.
halfway through.
Yeah, we grabbed that string and we just kept pulling at it until we could stop. Man, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So, but
Oh, good.
I have another bit of information though to slightly change subject, but it was like
Hmm.
it has to do with the Mandalorian a little bit. I'm going to transition over to that.
Back to Star Wars. Back to Star Wars. Speaking of which, I did drop that concept art in the show in the Facebook group. So if anyone wants to go there, they can.
Oh yeah,
But Mandalorian.
I want to hear about that.
What's going on with Mandalorian?
Okay, so I'm going to go to this one. Okay, the Mandalorian actor eyed to play Captain Kirk in Star Trek Enterprise. So apparently they're talking about another, series, I guess, called Star Trek Enterprise. I don't know, but
Well, Enterprise is already a thing.
that's what I thought.
Yeah,
I
Enterprise with
think it's
Captain Archer.
well, that's original. I don't know. All I know is they say the Mandalorian actor is eyed to play Captain Kirk in Star Trek somewhere. I don't know what. It's just so this guy playing Mandalorian is basically might be showing up as Star Trek Enterprise or something like that. And they make a point to talk about who's the different people who've played Christopher Pike throughout the series, and a lot of people have played him. So I'm trying to think if I haven't read this one all the way through, but Pike
So
is an
have you
interesting
watched
character.
any of Enterprise?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I was
Oh,
like,
you did. Okay.
I was one of those people that were watching, all three. I was watching DS9, I was watching Voyager and Enterprise when they were just pumping out like Star Trek shows at the time, and basic people just got
Yeah.
tired of Star Trek. I was one of those people watching all of them. Enterprise
Well,
just they messed up with the theme song in my opinion. and
Yes.
I think they took too
Yes.
many they took too many liberties there, and they had to anchor it, and they didn't. And but I think later on, the first two seasons I think were a little slow, but the
Yeah.
after two seasons, it got much better. It was actually a pretty decent, series.
That's
So,
what I'm told. I watched the first 5 episodes of season one, and I was like, I can't stand my intelligence being insulted anymore. This is no good.
mm-hmm.
But if it gets better in season three, maybe I can go back to that.
Yeah. But
Interesting.
anyway, he
Uh,
that's just interesting because I thought it was neat that they're talking about another one. So
so
that's
so
cool.
uh,
So
so is this kind of their Enterprise has progressed in the timeline to the point where Kirk is now going to be the captain, and so they have to recast him,
I
or
it
are they
did
rebooting it?
they didn't give
Um,
into too many specifics into it. They just said that they're gonna do something. He's gonna play. To me, that means that there at some point he is going to show up in one of the various series that they've got. I can already see some bleed over from Discovery into Picard,
yeah,
and I can. I don't know. I'm trying to think here. What other shows are out there right now? But I can definitely see where they might be going with some of the Discovery stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't really know exactly. These are just the little things that leak out, like how they have, hey, we're doing a showing for this movie if someone's interested in, applying for this job. That's kind of how they find out about it. They're like, hey, they're interviewing for, this position, so this character is either going to show up in the, either a new series or one of these new shows that they've got going. I mean, I fully expect them to start pumping out a bunch of Star Trek. I mean, the fact that they've combined CBS All Access and Viacom now, they're gonna start doing some interesting stuff here. It'll be interesting.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And
yeah,
they're
okay.
supposed to rebrand CBS All Access during the summer to be more uh, what do you call it? To be more international, kind of like a bigger brand to be more a national brand. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I don't know what that means, but it'll be interesting to see what they say and do.
CBS bigger as a national brand? I thought CBS was already, pretty coast to coast.
I think it's code for saying that they want to relate more to, uh, you know, the Asian market and the Chinese market, those areas,
Hmm.
and maybe even try to, focus in different areas. I think it's just code for saying they want to hit markets that they're not really in yet, and I think
Okay. Okay. So
that's one.
international. Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
and
Adding shows that appeal to people in other countries, and that
yeah,
makes more
exactly.
sense.
Yeah, and there's a lot
Got
of
it.
money to be made by doing that, and I get that it's a little weird to to have to balance that, but the U.S. market is not the only market anymore. That's just how it is. It's
Well,
we
and
don't we don't we
The
don't just
CBS
control it.
catalog is not as deep as Disney's, so
Yeah,
Disney can survive on just their own stuff. CBS, yeah, they need to expand a bit.
yeah, exactly. So,
Everyone will be watching Twitch before too long.
hmm
Yeah, yeah. So you played any video games this week?
I basically play my World of Warships. Lately, it's a quick game I can play for you know 15 minutes and then walk away from it. I can't put much time into anything else. I mean, I also play my Risk game on my phone, so
Oh, fun. I like
I like,
Risk.
yeah, it's a nice little fun. It's got the people who are in charge of it are doing a pretty good job with it. They buy the licensing from I think Hasbro and they run the brand and all they do is pay the licensing to Hasbro, so it's not like it's Hasbro doing it. They just pay Hasbro licensing. So they're doing a pretty good
Hmm.
job, but they got ads all over it. But what's nice is that it is a clean and simple game. Once you're in the game, it's like, this particular app. I can play it on Steam. I can play it on my
Hmm.
Android phone. I actually have to pay for it on the app on the Amazon store, which I thought was weird, but maybe because there's just not enough people
Hmm.
there on the Amazon store.
Interesting.
But
Could be.
there's
Yeah.
there's lots of ads and stuff in it, but it's a good experience. I mean, I like it. So, and they've
Hmm.
tweaked the dice a little bit. how you play dice is you can throw one dice, two or three. They because people get so frustrated, and I totally get this. I was totally frustrated with this in Risk. Is you roll those dice and you're so outmatched the other player. Somehow you have twice the number of armies and you would lose. And it was just like,
Hmm.
how is that possible? Or like you'd have
Hmm.
substantially more. And it's just a roll of the dice. That's all it is, and that's just how the game
It
is
is,
done.
yeah.
But they've tweaked it, and they have this thing with three dice, and it's called Blitz. And they say you have a 100% chance of winning if you throw these dice. So I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, so they've tweaked it a little bit to make people happy. The one thing I will say is they left the other dice in there, so you can go Blitz three dice, two dice, one dice. So
Yeah.
if you're smaller and you want to attack someone that's bigger than you, you can actually throw the dice to the point where you have a bigger chance of winning. So you can attack using the regular dice system and still come out a winner. So if you know how to roll
Hmm.
the dice, you can actually play get pretty far with it. So the AIs are pretty decent. They're more of a nuisance. They don't really play to win. They more play to irritate the player. But what's
Yeah.
nice is in the game you can actually do pass and win if pass and play. So you can get up to
Yeah.
4 or 6 people, and you can play on one phone, which is kind of cool. You just go boom, boom, boom. I'm one of those people. I like to pick my territories and reinforce them myself and not just make it random.
Right.
So one of the things I like doing is just playing with a group of people. Like me and my kids will all set up, and then we'll just pass it around, and we'll just play around that way. Much better than playing the board game. It just takes way too much time. It's like playing Monopoly.
Yep. The setup takes a long time, and then you get the analog way you roll the dice with your hands. It does take a
Hmm.
while. Yeah.
But it's a good one. You can also play online to the point where it's like I think like it's an online game or something. Like if you're on your phone and I'm on mine, we could play against each other that way too, which is cool. I mean they're doing it well. So
Risk. Okay. I love Risk.
hmm
Risk is a good game. I got that remake of it with the space stuff where you can conquer the moon and there's all these cards for nuking things.
oh
Risk 2241, I think is what it's called.
oh
It's lots of fun. Played that with Justin. It was good. It was good. But our family, we've been playing Lord of the Rings online. All of us really getting into it. I actually, that's that's kind of my wife's date night with us. We go battle monsters and do quests and stuff in Angmar.
which game is this?
For Lord of the Rings Online, it's an
Oh,
RPG.
is it free to
Um,
play?
you can, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna
There's
have
a
to get
lot
on
of
there. I'm gonna write this down. You've been talking about this. Lord of the Rings online. Lord of Rings
Lord of the
online.
Rings Online. I'm almost halfway to level cap. Level cap's 130, and I'm at 60. So
Ouch.
yeah,
Yeah,
takes a while.
yeah.
Um,
It's kind of like me in Star Trek Online. I hear you.
it's like that. Yeah, you can do it free to play. Yeah, and you just have to grind to get the Lotro points to purchase the expansions, and it can be a lot of grinding. Though it's been done. Um, I actually broke down and went subscriber on it because I'm like, well, I'm spending a lot of time on it. Why not pay for a little convenience?
Yeah. And some games, I mean, if a game is worth it, if a game is good enough, I think a player is gonna put money into it. Like when I bought Star Trek Online, I bought it when it was
Mm-hmm.
not free to play. It wasn't a free to play game. They were like, you buy it and you play it. But they sold Cryptic was sold to another company. I think it was Perfect World. I think it's a Chinese company, but they've been doing some good thing. They've kind of tweaked it a little bit. They're changing the gameplay a little bit and how it worked. They added a card system game into it. I really wish they had turned that card game into an app or something, but I think there's some issues with licensing and stuff like that, so they couldn't. But yeah, it's like if you could, yeah, it's a pretty impressive system once they get it going. If it's a good enough game, I feel like people will buy it. And it's like because I had originally bought the game, you know I think I got the game for free or something, but I can't remember. Because there's a subscriber, like you can have a lifetime membership, is how they ended
Oh
up
yeah,
working it because it went from
right.
pay to free to play, and I think that gave a couple people like free premium accounts and stuff, but
Yeah.
don't hold me to that. I can't remember exactly how it worked, but all I know is that I have a premium account, and it's worth it. It's worth it. It's a fun game. I go and jump on around Christmas time. They have special events. Sometimes during the summer they have special events. It's a lot of fun.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Lotro's been around for 12 years now. I've
Mhm.
only started playing it in the last year,
Mhm.
but it's been around for 12 years, and they've still got a strong community of players. A lot of players go back and remember the old days. A lot of the kind of hardcore role playing ones who will get into character and do like fun stuff, and a lot of cosmetic things you can do with the characters. So yeah, it's really fun. I enjoy the questing part and the leveling up part and all that. So that's really what I enjoy. But yeah, I'm actually impressed that our family's gotten into it. My son plays a lot, and my wife and I use it as kind of a date night. So that's fun. Good for when we're yeah, good for. Maybe you haven't found the right one yet. Yeah, but your wife's a musician, right? Yeah. So maybe you find something with like an organ where your keyboard skills come in handy. Are onions in season? Because I went to buy some red onions at the store, and like the whole lot looked rotten. There were flies on it in the store. I'm like, no, I'm not buying a red onion here. Okay, that explains it. Hmm. Yeah, we just planted. Did I tell you we planted heirloom pumpkins? Actually, no. It was the last Saturday when I expanded. Yeah, so I haven't told you this yet, but we expanded the garden. We tilled up kind of tripled the size of it because I didn't realize how much space pumpkins were going to take. Um, and so I went out and bought a bunch of random seeds and stuff. And so now we've got some trellises up for some beans to climb and some cucumbers and planted carrots. And the fun thing is you were telling me about heirloom seeds, and I was over at Garden Center and I saw these heirloom pumpkins. I'm like, oh, neat. So I grabbed a package of those. And it turns out these pumpkins, if you do it right, can get like to 100 pounds. These are like gigantic pumpkins.
Oh yeah,
I
they'll
don't
get
expect that
huge.
we're going to get to there in our first try, but that's neat.
Yeah, and it's like, but the key
So
is with a lot of those you gotta water them a lot.
that's the thing. So we're working on. We got the sprinkler set up. We're watering it
Hmm.
regularly. Um, Now it recommends for the pumpkins a side dressing of compost frequently.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure. Are we supposed to do that before they sprout or after they sprout?
It's usually good to do it before you plant them. They usually want a lot of that stuff in the ground because once they're in the ground,
Uh,
there's not much you can really do.
of
You
course.
have to.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of times what you'll end up seeing is you'll grow them in a pot and then plant them into the ground. But what a lot of people do is they'll put like soda ash or like potash. Sorry, not soda ash, like potash and stuff like that, and put it in the ground, and then put some fertilizer or something in there or something else, and then they'll put dirt down, and then they'll put the plant on top of it, so that as the roots go down, they pull from those nutrients. So usually it's something like that. So
Okay. So you get the fertilizer in the soil before you
yeah.
do the planting.
Yeah, and I've seen some people apply, and this is more of a rural thing, but if because they have more access to it, if it's like manure or something like that, they'll apply manure near the top, and then it'll break down and
Yeah.
then go into the soil. So, but that's for, you know, if you have access to it. So,
Well, live and learn. We'll do that next year.
compost is a lot of work. If you can buy compost or composted
Hmm.
soil, that's it's good to do that. Like
Hmm.
most of that stuff is prep beforehand, and
Hmm.
yeah, and if as long as it's set, you should be in good shape.
That makes sense. Don't make them.
So,
Yeah, this has really been more of a learn as you go kind of experience for us. We were like, well, I've
mhm.
never used a tiller before, but let's see what this does. And then, okay, I don't know what seeds to buy. Let's put these in the ground. Some of
Mhm.
them came up and some of them didn't. Looks like the
Okay.
sunflowers are going well. On your recommendation, the
Yeah.
sunflowers seem to be going very well.
Yeah,
Um,
sunflowers are a lot of fun. And kids, I mean, kids and adults. I mean, shoot. I mean, you put something on the ground and it gets as tall as you. I mean, yeah, I feel good about that. Cool.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree with that.
sunflowers are a good thing.
So,
Yeah. Well, next time we'll put the fertilizer in the soil first, and then we'll plant the
hmm
pumpkins.
but you
That'll be
were,
good.
yeah, but you mentioned not. Didn't mean to get us off topic, but you mentioned my wife and stuff, and we are talking about doing a recital. I think next week, Wednesday at 7. Like so, you can eat dinner, and then as soon as dinner's over, Wednesday at 7, there's an online concert that we're gonna post a link to online, and people can watch this concert online. So it'll go for about a
Okay,
half
so
hour. So
is it
come
going to
check
be
it out.
live?
Yep, it'll be a live stream. It's only going to be a few seconds delay, so it's not like, it's just something someone's putting up there. It'll be live streamed, so, because of everything with COVID, we wanted to, I think our church wanted to put something out there that's, say, the community's still doing stuff. We're putting stuff out there. This is going to be a neat event for people to, come and watch. So,
That's really cool. That's really cool. What kind of music is she going to be doing?
it'll be in organ music. It's kind of got like a Mary focus. I think Ave Maria might be in there at some point. She's going to have someone singing part of it because it was originally designed to be something in like performed like in a venue. A lot of people have to tweak it, so it's been tweaked a little bit so that we can broadcast it and stuff online. So.
Okay, so this is a project of your church, a recital from your church.
Yeah, it's basically it was an idea, and basically our church was like, "Yeah, we should do this." It's at our church. Originally, I think she was gonna, do something in another church, but all this COVID stuff happened, and you know how everything just got tamped down. So, it was just
Yep,
brought up as like, "Hey, we should do this." Do this
yep.
here. We've already kind of got it put together. Let's, if you're interested in doing it, we should do this. And so there's a lot of interest in just getting it out there to say, "Hey, if people want to listen to some good organ music." And good singing, we're gonna put this out there. So.
Okay, yeah. So two things. For
Hmm.
number one, the pipe organ is my favorite instrument. It has
Is it?
always been my favorite instrument since I was a little kid. And so I would definitely love to hear some of that. I'll put it. Can I
Hmm.
stream it on my TV?
Yep. It'll be on YouTube, so we're gonna put a scheduled event out there, so people will be able to,
Excellent.
watch it and stuff. So or like save it, and it'll should show up in your YouTube stuff. So, when it
Can you
comes
post
up
the
to.
link in? Can you post the link in our Facebook group?
Yep, I can do that. So
Excellent. Okay, because I'm gonna watch that. And now,
it
so the
probably
second
won't
thing,
be until tomorrow, but yes, I'll definitely do that.
got it. So first thing, I love pipe organ. Second thing, I have missed singing in choir so much. That has been
Hmm.
the number one hardest part of this
Yep.
quarantine thing for me is just not being able to sing. So yesterday we had our Holy League for Men at Annunciation Church downtown for the first time in several months, and I was able to go and cantor along with one other guy, and it was so much. It was so nice to be able to sing some Gregorian chant again. We stood
Hmm.
far apart, so we weren't like breathing on each other, but
Yeah.
it was so much fun. And, and I really would love to hear how your church's concert or your wife's recital goes.
Yeah.
Um, on this Wednesday at 7, right?
Yeah, Wednesday at 7. I really was looking. I was really looking forward to mass coming back, and choirs coming back, hearing the music, and my heart almost broke when I heard that a lot of the music, organizations were just not really saying that choirs aren't going to come back right away, but they were just saying that we need to be cautious about singing with large choirs in church because you're basically singing loudly and stuff like that. So they were
Well,
just being saying we need to be concerned that we need to take that into account, and maybe we should slowly work in the larger choirs. And I'm like, I don't know their specifics. I'm not. I just remember that I just heard that they were raising the concerns about having choirs back right away, and I was like, no, don't tell me that. I like
Well,
my music.
I know it makes sense because when you think about the precautions of not breathing on other people, that's like the number one thing that spreads this disease. Choir is like the riskiest activity you could do because that's like large groups of people standing close together, breathing very strongly into the same air. It's
Mhm.
like if that's probably got to be like the quickest way to spread this. And so I get it, I
Yeah.
get that, but music is so central to some of our existences and to everybody else. It's bigger than you realize, and so
And I'm
it's just
pretty
like,
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I've had this. I have no proof that I've had this, and I feel bad. But it's like it's hard to get tested to see if you've had. But my lungs have been
well,
bothering me for weeks, and I don't wish this on anyone if this is actually what this is. And I'm like, it's
oh,
not pleasant. It's like it hangs out there, but you're fine after about a few days. But it. I think this is what people are worried about. This thing hangs out, and it just for a long time, and it doesn't go away. So I get it, and I don't. I definitely see the issues of being cautious, and I definitely suggest people to be cautious because not
mm,
pleasant because it hangs around for
got,
forever.
gotcha. What we're changing topics, okay? But and here's a
Well,
segue.
do you
Speaking
want? Yeah,
of
but do you want me to show
family
you?
members who are artists,
Hmm. Oh, cool.
no, okay. So yeah, so your wife's a musician. My
Hmm.
daughter is an artist, and we were speculating about maybe having her come up with some designs for maybe a new logo for us
Hmm.
because the dog right there, he's
Absolutely.
great and all, he's great
Hmm.
and all, but like the digs, the dog,
Hmm.
I mean, maybe we could do better. So
True.
I've got her here, and
Hmm.
she came up with this idea over dinner tonight, and then just whipped it out real quick. So
Okay.
come come over here. Show Mr. Right here. Just the camera's right there.
There we
Can you
go.
see
Oh, okay.
that
Wow. I like it.
little dog
That
or
is
cat?
that is like all kinds of adorable. That's all I can say. I like it.
When she came up with that idea, I was like, "That's perfect. That'll be great. I can't wait
Yeah.
to see what she comes up with." So yeah, it looks great to me.
Yeah.
Maybe we can work that up somehow and get it over to you as a new option for the logo.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, the only suggestion I would make is if you're able to redraw it a little bit bigger, so it can be kind of shrunk down a little bit. But if you can make it a little bigger, but yeah, I love it. That's cool.
Yeah. She also creates characters, and another one she did today was a little tiny rusted out robot called Clive, and he's just as adorable.
Yeah,
Can you show?
I've seen some of the other
Okay.
pictures that I think y'all have posted. They're really cute.
See,
Yeah, the camera's right
Oh,
here.
nice.
you see Clive?
Yeah, that's awesome. Where are you coming up with these ideas? Are you taking some classes or something on it? Because there's some, really nice, you know, what do you call it? Like, what's that? The art. I mean, obviously talent, but like, it seems like there's some level of skill that's involved in this. Are you getting like, training, professional training?
Yes, you are.
Uh,
You're taking art classes.
I'm not gonna tell you that, Dad.
Okay, I won't embarrass her anymore. But,
Okay. Well, that
um,
was a great drawing. She's doing a great job with it. So,
she is. She's been taking art
yeah.
classes since she was little, so
Well,
she's just
she's got a talent.
art
Tell her to
classes.
keep up with
Yeah, keep drawing.
it.
And draw a bigger version of the dog.
need a bigger bird. Just
Because we have to have it big so that we can,
Yeah.
manipulate it online. If you keep it small,
I'll
then
take
when you blow it up, it'll actually look pixelated.
Yeah.
It won't look good. So we need like a full page version, I think, and then we can make it different resolutions after we scan.
Hmm.
Yeah, she can do that.
There you go.
Cool.
But
The coloring too.
send both of them. I don't send that one. Send that one and a larger one. Just scan them
And we'll
in or
color
something
it,
like
too.
that.
Yeah. So I
Sounds
thought,
good.
the digs.
Mhm.
She said that how about a dog with a hard hat and a shovel? I'm like, yes,
That's cool.
The dog digging.
I like
This
it.
is perfect.
So
Oh goodness. Oh
That
goodness.
I mean, and I don't say that half-heartedly or anything. That was a I like that. That's pretty cool. I was looking at it and I saw a hard hat and then I saw the shovel and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was like, it's got the digs on it,
Yes, that was her idea. That was her idea.
so I
That's
like it.
great. Yeah, I'm really proud of her. She's been doing a lot of art. She got oil set for her birthday.
Mhm.
Set of oil and canvases. Okay, so she has a set of oils and canvases. She used it for the first time after her birthday, and the first thing she did was a close up of a sunflower with a V, and it's just really really good. And
Mhm.
I was just impressed that that was her first time putting oil paint on a canvas. I was
Mhm.
surprised because it seemed like I mean she clearly had done a lot of drawing over years and years now, but
Mhm.
for that medium, like
Mhm.
she didn't start with anything more basic. She really went right into it. And something that I thought was great. Now
Oh.
I'm no visual artist. I'm a musician, but I'm not a visual artist.
Mhm.
So I can tell usually what's good and what's not, but I can't really judge. But
Mhm.
of course, I'm also her dad, so I'm a little biased.
Yeah. But
But I
but
think
as
she's
an
got a lot of.
objective observer, I mean, that's a good drawing, and I've seen some of her other work that y'all have posted online too. Those two right there, I like. There's some talent there. I could see her doing a comic strip or something.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean
That's
that.
the strength of her characterization is that she comes up with little backstories for them. So apparently, Clive,
Nice.
she was too shy to tell it on the show,
Mhm.
but she said that Clive is he's a little robot that was programmed by a big robot
Mhm.
as a to do a project, and he was programmed to go collect little nuts and bolts for the big robot, and he has also become the companion of one of her other anime characters, and she is. Oh,
She
this is the painting.
sounds like a Disney, you know, you know,
Exactly, exactly. So this is
storyline
the oil
already.
painting that I was telling you about.
Oh, nice.
Um, First time that she's put oil on canvas.
Mhm.
Not her first
Nice.
drawing, of course. Like she's done lots and lots of drawing, but this is the first time in this medium.
Nice. I like it.
I thought it was really really good.
Mhm. Looks like a
Yeah,
carpenter bee or something. That's awesome. Sunflower.
yeah. Regular little bumblebee on a sunflower.
Mhm.
But it wasn't like she didn't do the whole sunflower with like a stem and kind of centered and everything. It was like
Mhm.
close up and very, good eye for it. Yeah. So anyway,
That's awesome, man. I like it. That was a good one.
well, I think we used up the whole show before talking about any kind of stuff that we planned to talk about.
Yeah, but I think that's what we're going for. Talk about, some news stuff and then, we fit it
As
in
long
at
as
the
we're
end.
talking.
So we still have 5 minutes, but yeah, I was gonna show y'all a clip, of the it's not of it was like a practice of the recital. It's kind of what's neat
Oh
about it
yeah.
is it's the format that we're gonna follow. I mean, I'll probably only show about 10 seconds of it, but what's
Well,
neat
okay. So
is it.
yeah. So if you
Mhm.
mute me, I'm gonna turn the volume on over here so I can hear it.
Oh, okay. I'll do it like right now. I'll only do about 10 seconds and then I'll talk about it until you get your audio and stuff back on. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, there we go. Now you're muted. Okay, using all this. Let me see here. Okay, I'm gonna pull the video up. I'm gonna maximize it, and I'm gonna skip ahead a few seconds. Okay, so it works. Okay. Oh, well, hold on. I gotta actually transition it over. I think what my lesson is here is I'm gonna have to actually get a third monitor here. This is crazy. Mm, Just what we're doing. So let's go ahead and maximize this, and let's see what we got here. But there we go. That's all we're doing. You can come and check out the rest of it later on. But yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. So, but me this stuff. I'll turn you back on now. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. That'll be the format. So if y'all want to come and check it out, next week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, we'll share it out there. Come and check it out. So.
I do want to check it out. Unfortunately, the sound didn't come through on the stream.
Oh, that's probably because I muted you. Oh, I'm not. Yeah, because I muted
No,
you.
I was listening on the Twitch stream, and it wasn't coming through.
No, I muted you on OBS, and because I muted you on OBS, it muted the computer. It's a complicated thing. So that's.
I'm there with the. Oh, gotcha. So next time.
Anyway, it's still a teaser. You didn't have to hear it. The music's great. Still another reason to come check it out. But that was the format we were going with. We were going with that particular format to so you're going to be able to see what all the organist does. The organist is using their hands, using their feet. It is a very active instrument to play. So we're trying to really highlight that during the live stream, is showing the feet and showing there's the fact that there's two things of keyboards there, and then there's a third that some people don't even think about or even know about, is the keys on the ground. They just think it's like a piano, like there's three down there. No, there's a whole nother keyboard down there. There's like 3 keyboards, and you're doing that. You got stops over here that you're pulling to adjust here. I know more about organs now than I want to, but it's like, cymbal sterns and stuff like that turn bells and stuff. All kinds of fun stuff. So
I highly recommend it. You send me that link and I'll publicize it.
Cool.
I definitely want to get that out there.
I'll definitely put it out there. So, but yeah, so I think we're coming near the end of our hour. So anything else you want to add before we, call it a night?
Okay, so if you want to tune into my radio show this coming Monday at noon, I'm going to be talking with a cardiologist about an awesome miracle story that he witnessed. Guy who had a heart attack on the tennis court and then was essentially brain dead for like 9 days. Like, ouch. He was really, really just hanging on by the slimmest of threads. There was no way that he was going to recover. The neurologist gave him up. The cardiologist gave him up. But they prayed over him. And this cardiologist had a crucifix on the guy's head and felt the twitch and knew something was weird. Next morning, he had recovered pretty much back to 100%.
Wow.
I mean, the next morning he woke up, and then in like 3 days he was back up to 100%. And so it's a miracle story. We're going to be talking to the guy who was healed and the cardiologist on Monday on my radio show, grnonline.com, or check out my Facebook feed.
Awesome.
If you go to our group here, you'll see me, and then you can follow me, and I'll post the link to the video.
We can put a link or something in there for it too. So
yeah, we can do that.
But awesome, man. Well, good deal. So we both, got lots of stuff going on there. So look forward to your show, and we got that concert next week. And I'll be honest, man, you got me really excited about that graphic now. That looked really, really sweet, man. So I look forward to that. So, and I lost you. I don't know where you went to, but that's it for us. And y'all take care.